Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babes.
She's evil. I hope y'all realize it, because when they're communicating this and when they jump on their phone and they start to have these conversations with y'all, they don't realize that they're actually telling on themselves and they're giving us reason to not support them. And more importantly, I want people to feel ashamed. I want people, black people that's out there protesting on behalf of women like this, white people that are out there protesting on behalf of women like this, other legal migrants that came over and love this country. They don't care about what we got going on over here. They don't care about our culture. They don't care about what our standards are. They are going to do what they want to do. And one of the reasons is because they truly, even though they come from a third world country, as far as I'm concerned, even though they come from a less than ideal environment, even though they come from a space that is actually horrible when it comes to the cartel and the culture and all of this stuff, they feel like they're better than you. They feel like they're better than us. They feel like they're better than America. They just look at us as an economic opportunity. They're not looking to contribute. They're not looking to figure out how it is that they can learn the language. They're not looking to adjust. She just, out of her own mouth, told you, listen, we don't really fuck with y'all like that. The only thing that we here for is money. And so she tried to cook as though she was like, yo, listen, it's not that we really need you. It's really that we taking advantage of you. And this is what we really think about your country. And so when y'all out there sympathizing and trying to figure out how you can accommodate these people, you don't know them. You don't know their intentions. You don't know where they come from. You don't know what their true desires are. And so culturally, they don't fuck with us. They don't rock with us. She told you out of her own mouth, listen, the only reason that we here is to send money back to Mexico. We got better vibes. We got better music. We got better culture. We just missing the money. And then she said, if you support ICE, which is there not just for the deportation of illegal migrants, they do a lot of things. They rescue children. They go out there and they hunt for people that are...
A year ago, I made a video. In that video, I gave an analysis on why there is so much pushback from other minority communities towards black people when we talk about black liberation or black unity. And it seems the last few days, the ICE protest has brought something up that kind of justifies this. So let me explain this again. The account that I had that video on has been banned. So the video, clearly, TikTok has taken it away. And I never got to post it on Instagram. That was before I started posting on Instagram. So basically, this is what's going on. There is a global cast. Sorry, I'm just trying to enjoy the sun. There's a global cast globally, right? Of which white Europeans are on top. And black Africans are at the bottom. Everyone else is in between. Some people like their position in the caste system. Some people don't. But one thing is clear is nobody wants anyone who's beneath them to come above them. Last year, I remember I got an invitation when I was at the height of my doing lives on TikTok. I got an invitation by a Puerto Rican, and she wanted me to come to her live. I came to her live. As soon as I came in, she switched up. It was a completely different story. She was talking about how the black liberation movement is taking away so much attention from the Taino indigenous movement. And I'm like, why did you bring me here to accuse me? She was like, yeah, because you're leading the black movement on TikTok and there's so much attention. People are watching your videos. They're not watching. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And that's when it hit me and I realized black liberation is a time bomb to every single person, including white people, mostly people who are not white. They're the ones threatened the most by this. And let me explain it. Let me give you an example, or let me play a scenario out here. If you remember, there was a story of I remember watching a video too. It was on YouTube of an Indian guy. In India, they have the Dalit, the Brahmin, right? They have more, but the Dalit are at the bottom of the caste system and the Brahmin are at the top of the caste system. 90% of the Indians you see in America are all Brahmin. The ones you see doing the Indian street food, those are the Dalits. So basically, this Dalit guy goes to drink water at a tap in India, but the tap apparently belongs to the Brahmin, and a bunch of Brahmin kids caught him and they beat the shit. They were his age. You can see they were his age, but they surrounded him, they beat him up, they pissed on him, they made him apologize. And I was saying, that guy, after going through that much humiliation, he's got nothing else in this world. In his world, he lives in India. He just got pissed on for drinking water at a tap of people who believe they're superior to him just because of how his caste, right? When he's done taking all this shit, at the end of the day, he gets to go home and cry and rub his wounds, and he gets one thing. He gets one thing. Him, every Latino, everyone else in this world, they get one thing. They get to look in the mirror and say to themselves, at least I'm not black. Because we are at the bottom. So they have nothing, but at least they have an entire racial group to look down on. So now we started this whole black unity, black liberation, and everyone knows the potential the black people have. They know the potential of the black America. They know the potential of the black Caribbeans. They know the potential of the black Europeans, and they fucking know the potential of Africa. And every one of them sits down and goes, holy shit, if these people actually achieve what they're trying to achieve, they're going to go from the bottom to the top. They're going to mess up the entire global racial order. The global caste system is going to be thrown into disarray. And here's the thing, no one knows which one of them is going to end up at the bottom. Everyone is afraid of being at the bottom. The Indians don't know if it's going to be them. The Latinos don't know if it's going to be them. The Arabs, the North Africans, they don't know if it's going to be them. Nobody. All these races, the Southeast Asians, they don't know if it's going to be them. The Eastern Europeans, the poor ones, the Slavs, where slave come from, they don't know if it's... No one knows what us throwing this global order into chaos would look like. They just know that it would get us from out of the bottom and put us at the top. And you can't spend your entire life looking down on someone only to realize they're about to do something that'll make you look up at them. Everyone. Not just white people. Everyone works against this. Black people, I need you to understand, when you come online and someone is arguing with you, the first thing you do, you need to go to their profile. Look at them. For me, if it's a private account, I'm blocking you. You're not a black person. You're not a human. I'm talking to a bot. I'm talking to a Chinese man. I'm talking to an Indian. I'm talking to a Latino. I'm talking to somebody that is not black. If they have follow-ins and they follow people, 0 pictures, 0 uploads, delete. You could use your discernment. My thing now is, if it's not an actual real human that I am looking at, we're not having that conversation. If it comes to blackness and issues of race, I am blocking you, and that's it. But the point, I hope everyone gets the point I'm trying to make here, is one thing everyone who's not white has in this world is, at least I'm not black. And black unity, right, is trying to take that away from them. And they cannot, they can never have that. Because if we take that from, what else? Dude, that is the only thing they have left in this world. And we're trying to rob them of that by uniting. They can never make that happen.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. I hope you're faring well. Now, in the United States of America, we understand that there is a tension between the Africans and the Latinas. And also I can add that there's tension between the Africans or African Americans and the Mexicans. Why is it that the Mexicans particularly and the Latinos are always finding problems with black people in places of work, in education, in health sectors? There's always tension between the Latinas and the black people, or the Mexicans and the black people. Now, the Mexicans are the Hispanics, and I believe some Latinas, or rather, we have some Latinas in Mexico. Correct me if I am wrong, kindly. But the point remains, there is tension between we black people and the Mexicans and the Latinas in the United States of America. The problem is this. The Latinas try to say that they can outsmart and they can outshine black people. We have no problem if you can outsmart us or you can outshine us. The problem comes in when you threaten us, and not just threat by life, but threat of losing jobs, threats of environment is not safe for our kids. And now Black Americans have come forward and they're speaking against it. It was just recently that the Latinas were coming up front. They were calling for Black people for them to go and demonstrate with them. Some Black people, actually majority of Black people, refused to this in memory of what the Latinas have always done. So Black people came together and they pointed a message towards the Mexicans and the Latinas, a corrective message. I want us to listen to these videos. I shall get back by the end, where we shall also have a deep, critical analysis. Let's dive in.
Who are working in my company. I'm a Black man. I own a company. I hire a Latino. The Latino comes back and complain about the African Americans because the Latino thinks because I'm African, I don't have any relationship with the African American. The Latino comes to me and tell me that you are an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. That African American cannot work. I have Jose, I have Gonzalez, my brothers who know how to work very well. You need to fire the African Americans and I will bring a lot of hardworking Latinos who work for your company. This is my company as a Black man. My company. I was a contractor at Quantico Marine Base in Virginia. A contractor for General Electrics. And the Latino workers that are hired, they are snitching on the African-American workers that are hired for me to fire the African-Americans so they can bring Latinos to take their place.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop. And we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-Blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-Blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this. And the reason why is what we all have in common. We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop pointing the finger in both communities and make the decision that we are going to choose to be united versus divided. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but here are examples of how you can show up differently and be the change you want to see. Number one, share stories of solidarity. Share stories of love. Share stories of when you have experienced the Black or Latino community showing up in your spaces. We need to shift the narrative. Number two, if your reality is division between the Black and Latino community and your goal is unity, then it is up to you to seek out examples of when the Latino and Black communities show up for one another, where they show love, where there is actual solidarity, because guess what? It exists. And if you need a place to start with me. I am happy to be a part of your network of Latinos who have nothing but love for our Black sisters and brothers. Number three, ask your neighbors how you can be helpful. You need to lead with your heart in this moment. That is the only way that we are going to experience an actual shift. We have to show up as human beings. We have to show up vulnerable. We have to show up as the change that we want to see. Lastly, ask others to join you. Let's actually start in the comments. Share your stories of solidarity and love. If members of the Latino and Black community have a hard time seeing it, let's show them how it's actually done. I stand with my Black brothers and sisters, and I also stand with my Latino familia. But the change, it starts with us. I love you.
I am a Black Egyptian. My father is much darker than I am. My mother is lighter than I am. In Egypt, people are identified by the religion first, not the race. So in Egypt, if you are Christian, you are a minority person. But if you're Black, you're not a minority person. You are a part of the mainstream society. And I came from this background. And in Egypt, you identify as Arab and as Muslim. And in this country, when I first came, I identified myself as Arab American and Muslim first. And gradually, I became to identify myself as Black. I came to the U.S. in 1978. And I became a U.S. citizen in 1985. When I became a U.S. resident, I was told by the Immigration and Naturalization that I am white. And I told them that I'm black, and they said, no, in this country, you are white. All Arabs in this country, all Arab immigrants are white. I didn't pay much attention in the beginning to this because in the Arab world, we identify with our ethnicity first as Arabs, and then with the race second as black or white or whatever. But in this country, you identify with your racial group first and then with your ethnicity second. Gradually, I became black first and Arab second. And I rejected my white classification publicly for the first time in 1987, in February, as a panelist in a function sponsored by the Association of the Study of Black Life and History in Detroit. I said that I belong to two minority groups. I'm Arab American and Black American, and I'm racially black and ethnically Egyptian. I was harassed by my employer right after that. I work for a white school district. The superintendent is white. All the associate superintendents are white, even though that we provide services to 30% black population.
All of this was done on purpose. The U.S. Census did this on purpose. Because when you go back and you actually go back to the... How do I explain this? When you look at the actual census globally, you come to realize there are not enough white people. There are not enough white people in the world. They know this, and they've been changing classifications. That's why we have the situation we have concerning immigration in America right now, because a vast majority of these people, when they got here, they were told they needed to classify as white. They needed to classify as white, and they took that to be white. They believed themselves to be white, except Trump and his people came and showed them you could be white on paper, but as long as you don't visually look European like one of us, you're not one of us. They're learning that the hard way. But globally right now, when you look at the census, you will find out that the white population is nowhere. Let me show you something. This is the global fertility rate map for 2024, last year. Can you see? Can you see? Let's do this. Can you see? Argentina, this part, whatever, they're not having enough babies to keep up their population. This one right here, this strip right here, they're barely having enough babies. This whole section, they're not having enough babies to keep up their with their population. Right here, North America, United States, they're not having enough children to keep up with their population. Look at all of Europe, Asia, China, Indians. These people right here are the only ones have, and then look at the whole continent of Africa, and then look at West Africa. That is something they have known. That is something that scares the dog shit out of them, and that is something they're actively fighting against. This is why they're bringing GMOs to Africa. This is why Bill Gates is in Nigeria trying to force a vaccine, to which that in itself, all it's doing is going to affect fertility. I'm telling you, the world, once you start seeing the world for what it truly is and not what the white people are trying to make you see it for, brah. And I'm telling you, black people, we have this. When we unite, I'm telling you, this is our time. This is our time. Do not, FBA, y'all gotta stop this breaking off, whatever. This is, the people who are funding Project 2025, they saw this coming. They're the ones funding Tariq Nasheed. What's it called? A Heritage Foundation. Go look this up. They are some of the original funders of Heritage of FBA, Heritage Foundation. They did this because they want to kill the reparations conversation, and they're trying to make sure that, look, I said it, America, a lot of people in America, a lot of black Americans are replacing their bloodline for white. That's how the white people have figured out to keep their population, to create self-hate in the black community, push pasta lobster on black women, push if it ain't snowing, I ain't going on black men. Now, y'all out here having all these mixed babies. Go look at the statistics for mixed children. How many of them actually marry white? Y'all all turning your bloodlines white. Diana Ross, Quincy Jones. Look at, I'm telling you, man, do not fall for it, black people. Do not.
If you did not go to school to become a doctor, you can own your own construction company. The Latino community in America is making billions of dollars every year with less education than black Americans. I'll repeat, so maybe some of you didn't hear me. The Latino demographic in America is making billions of dollars each year in America with less education than African Americans. Make that make sense. 90% of all subcontracting companies in America right now are Latinos. Why our young black men are on the street corner doing whatever they are doing, end up dead or going to jail or no future.
Latinos of all backgrounds, do y'all not realize black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well, that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning like some monkeys in a zoo? No, sir, bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
It's very sad that one thing that every race have in common is disliking black people. That's the one thing that every freaking race have in common, is disliking us. But another thing they have in common is using us for our money and our sympathy and empathy. Because blacks, let me set y'all straight. Y'all feel sorry for people too fast and too much and at the wrong time. Y'all always, because I see some of y'all saying that the things that we saying we shouldn't be saying. Stop feeling sorry for people and stop letting them use your religion against you. Stop letting them use that God that they gave you against you. That's so weird to me. Y'all don't understand that the empathy and sympathy that y'all do have is been programmed. This is why you wind up feeling sorry for your enemies half the time, bruh. This is why you wind up feeling sorry for people that will not go into bed for you at all, not one time, not one bit. You wind up feeling sorry for people that wouldn't do for you that you would do for them. So you start turning on your own people. The one thing those other races do have in common, they stick together. No matter right or wrong or indifferent, they will stick together. But they'll find something weak in us, which is a lot, to make us turn on each other, okay? And start saying, yeah, well, y'all shouldn't be saying that about them people. I feel bad. Yes, we feel bad that it's happening. But you think we about to go in front line because we feel bad? Baby, it take a little bit more feeling bad than for me to get up out there. So at the end of the day, if we're next, we sitting there, we understand what we need to do. Huh? We ready. Be blessed.
Now here is my message. And this is one thing that Latinos need to understand. There is nowhere black people will be going if not America. America belongs, as the same way they feel America belongs to Latinas, America belongs to black people. And America was built on the back of black people. The enslaved black people from Africa, the black Americans, if you like, the African Americans, are the ones who built the same country that we're trying to kick them out of. And I remember, if it were not for Black Lives Matter movement, if it were not for black people such as Malcolm X, Booker T, Marcus Garvey, name them all, Martin Luther King Jr., if it were not for these people, even these Latinas, with all this that they are fighting with African Americans, they would not be doing that. It is the black leadership that made way. It is the black leadership that made it possible, even for the for the Latinas to thrive in the United States of America. So it does not make any sense, doesn't make any sense when a Latina is looking down on a black person and the very black person their ancestors, not even a far ancestor, very recent ancestor, fought for their equality as well, right? It is such a funny thing how we forget quickly, you know. We forget quickly. The other day I was studying something about Palestine and Israel, how the Israelis came to Palestine, they were welcomed. That generation went away, another generation came in, went away. Now another one came in. The one which came in was now trying to kick away the people they found there. They have all kind of excuses. You never miss an excuse. But that for Israel and Palestine, that's a different story. It's different from what we are experiencing between the blacks and the Latinas. The blacks and the Latinas both are not the original inhabitants. Even the white people are not the original inhabitants. The only person who should come up front and start nagging people around is the Red Indians. And these people were massacred. There was a genocide to finish off these people. And actually, they are the ones who should come up front and say, you people are arguing too much in our country. I think you should pack and go. That is what they should have said. But they're silent. They're still there. We have a few of them around. But they are just silent. They seem like not to exist. So if there's anyone who is supposed to complain to black people, it is them. The Latinas are just as immigrants as any other person. If there's someone who is more and more close to America, as compared between the Latinas and the blacks, it is the blacks. Latinas came after America was clean. America was clean of slavery. They came in from Mexico and those parts of Southern America and Central America after Black Americans ensured America was easier to stay and to thrive. All this tension we are having should stop. It doesn't make any sense. It really does not make any sense. Or does it make sense to you? Share with me in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Yes, this is EFK Original Documentaries. If you like what I do, kindly subscribe. I'll surely appreciate. Thank you for my subscribers. Thank you for getting us to 100K plus. You people are so amazing. It's such a huge and a massive following. Thank you so much for your support and see you in the next video. If you may and if you will, kindly subscribe to my Patreon. I have a Patreon membership program where you can be donating something by the end of the month to help me as a creator bring you better and good content. Yes. See you in the next one. I love you guys.